So without further ado, we're going to get started with our first panelist from CVent, who's going to tell us all about the future of mice and event. Please welcome Navodit.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mike and Harry. And hello, everyone. How are you? How was the lunch? I hope I can wake you up. I'll try my best. So, friends, my name is Navodit. Do we have the presentation on? Yeah, okay, great. I'm a big fan of LinkedIn, by the way. That's why my QR code is on here. And just to let you know, I have a LinkedIn record for 14,000 selfies. So in case if you haven't had a selfie with me, please do that. And my only competition is Joey Kang. I don't know if she's here in the room, but she is really competing hard. So today, for the next 20 minutes, let's dive into a futuristic mode, like what is happening in the meetings and event space, what's new out there. So let's make this interesting, make this interactive, and I hope you enjoy the session first and foremost. And now there is a detailed masterclass that's going to happen tomorrow at 9:15 a.m. We are going to be talking about the beautiful things, the technology, the smart things, and tomorrow is a detailed masterclass by my colleague Samantha. So she's here in between. If you can wave to everyone. So that's happening tomorrow morning. So let's dive into this. So, before we dive into the beautiful things, does this take you back into the memory lane? Does it ring the bell? We had our ancestors with tails, right? And so do these analog phones. And where we have come from where we were, to the smartphones. What has smartphone changed in our lives? Now, of course, you may say that, smartphone is not new. It came, the version of iPhone came in 2007 and so on and so forth. But what is it now? It's next level. It's a part of our daily life. We can't even remain without our smartphones for even half an hour. I think that's a problem in today's world as well. We all are struggling with, either with our kids or with our own selves. And now, after the smartphones, you now know that our homes are also getting smarter. We have connected devices. We have some homes of ours, like some who are very tech savvy, they have Uber homes. Everything is smart. You can operate anything from everywhere, right? Now, next is smart cities. So a lot is happening. Let's take a quick look at what's happening in the cities world, how we are getting ultra connected in this world today.
Sidewalk Labs released its Master Innovation and Development plans to turn a chunk of Toronto's Lake Ontario shoreline into the most futuristic city in the world. It would result in over 93,000 jobs and a better standard of living for its residents. To get around, the city will have a $1.2 billion light rail extension, which would connect the neighborhoods to mass transit before the new residents move in. It would cut down on the need for residents to own a car, and it would be safe and affordable. The hyper-local weather sensors would detect an oncoming snowstorm and heat up the snow melting pavements. It would keep the streets clear for pedestrians and cyclists, as well as autonomous delivery robots. Sidewalk Labs shows a picture of a world with intelligent pay-as-you-throw garbage chutes. The city would charge households by waste, and apps would tell residents when chairs on the waterfront were open. In addition, traffic signals will auto-calibrate to ease pedestrian congestion during public events and rush hours.
Isn't that amazing? So when our phones are smart, when our homes are smart, and our cities are smart, what does that mean for us? So ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to the concept of smart events. And when we talk about smart events, the events of the future, how they're going to be, they will be data-driven. We will be more connected, and technology will unlock various barriers. Now, let me give you a sneak peek into something futuristic. Let's move into the future. When our homes and everything is getting smarter, events are getting smarter. That will be driven by data. So what does this mean? Let's take a sneak peek into the future. And imagine if this session was happening in space while we are orbiting. Of course, that is a bit of a stretch. let me take you to something which is more grounded and more super cool. Now, this is a concept which is revolutionary. It's a floating hotel. It's a prototype by a Russian firm, ARC, and it's a model that handles rising water levels, climate change, and that might push us into ocean in one day while floating and still managing events. Let's take a quick peep here.
The Ark, a unique hotel concept that's designed to accommodate for the damaging effects of climate change. This ultra-modern take on Noah's Ark could be constructed on land or sea. The high-tech exterior also features a rainwater collection system, solar cells, and a wind turbine at the top, altogether providing renewable energy and water to the inhabitants. And while all these individual technologies have existed for decades, the Ark would be the first to bring them all together in the context of a self-sustaining floating hotel, the likes of which we've never seen before.
So isn't that interesting, like where we are heading to? And it's a very futuristic space, and we don't know whether it's 2 years from now, 5 years from now, but eventually we are heading to where we want to be. And with growing challenges of climate change, sustainability, this is paramount. So why we need this MICE transformation, and why we need this technology today in MICE transformation? And some of the figures that you see here, 86% of the event planners who are looking to book MICE in APAC, they are looking for technology. They are looking for AI. So clearly there is a need. There's a big need why we should be looking into newer technology solutions to drive us move forward and to build those credible connections. And 83% of the awarded business, friends, this is going to the first 3 responders. And of course, this doesn't come as a surprise. It's a typical sales thing. The faster you respond, the better it is. And the chances of getting awarded businesses are higher. But in the world where you have so much leads coming in, so much of things coming in, now to figure out what is right, what is wrong, what are the most quality leads, you need some sort of like a technology to drive this for you. And of course, sustainability is another thing that, I was talking yesterday at one of the panel at GBTA on strategic meeting management, and sustainability came out as a very strong pillar because sustainability, like almost 85% of the planners are looking for sustainable venues today. So if you have sustainable offerings, please spell them loud, and that would really be helpful in driving more consideration when sourcing is happening. And talking about CVent, CVent is sourcing $18 billion worth of RFPs through its network of planners. So which makes perfect sense. If you are using this network, then it's important to get on all of these parameters and be on that. Now, talking about technology, how could we not talk about AI today? So we know AI has some pretty impressive capabilities. And when it comes to the world of future of events and MICE, let me take you down to the route out here. So this is interesting, and so this is a shelf of books. And do you know, if a human being does nothing his whole life and just keeps reading and reading and reading, he would consume 8 billion words. Now, I want to ask you a question. How much time do you think AI will take to read this? Any guesses? Accord team, do you want to take a guess?
5 seconds.
5 minutes? Any other guesses? 5 seconds? Well, that's a bit of a stretch for AI. But you know what? At this point of time, the AI is taking 30 minutes. Less than 30 minutes to do this. And we never know. This is less than 5 seconds in the future, the way AI is progressing. So that's the power of AI. And now, in the world of meetings and events, now this is the most stressful profession in today's world. You can ask HSMAI, Glenn, and a lot of you people how stressful this is as a task to manage everything from sourcing to execution, to attendee experience, to attendee management, and so on and so forth. And imagine how impressive this would be in the world of, how AI can streamline these mundane tasks, right? So it's that important. Now, From our CVent perspective, we have invested in almost 200 plus data scientists who are constantly working on this framework just to improve the planner experience, the attendee management, the attendee experiences. And to give you a little more perspective, and of course, Jackie did mention, and this is not a product pitch, by the way. So imagine, when venue sourcing is happening, what's really happening? Planners are searching. Planners are searching with even the minimalistic information, like a visual search. When they type on AI, okay, I want to find hotels in Singapore in 20 miles radius of the airport. Now, if you're not there yet, even from an information standpoint, you would miss out on those possibilities. So that's really critical that you have your information up to date so that AI is not creating a chaos for you. AI is helping you, right? And even when it comes to communication, like Asia Pacific as a region has like 40% of the contribution from international planners, which means you are getting bookings from planners who are based in international locations. How do you collaborate with them? How do you showcase your meeting spaces? How technology is helping you build that game? Think of those things and then build your AI activation or MICE activation strategy for your properties. And you know what? The other thing that AI helps is, now we all know that, the big names in the corporate planners who are booking us. But what about the planners who are new in the business, but who are constantly sourcing into us? How do you get to that? How do you build? How do you find them? All of these capabilities are easily driven by AI. Now, what could be your AI playbook? I don't want to spend much time on that, but quick anecdote is audit your data, which is get all those simple things sorted out. And as I said, AI can only amplify your chaos if things are not in order. So it's very important to be very careful with AI. So basics needs to be set right before even when you start with AI. And again, start small, and it's not about just the tech teams knowing about AI. Even the sales and the commercial team should have some basic elementary knowledge about AI skill set. And choose wisely when it comes to having your AI partners. So there is a wonderful playbook. Like if you are a property, you want to start looking into AI and tech, I'll just give 15 seconds out here if you want to scan the QR code. This is a detailed playbook, step by step, explaining you how to do it. And one of the previous conversations that Philip was doing, he made a very good point. Let's not consider tech as a stack. And that is a very powerful statement. And the moment we start thinking of tech stack, it just becomes a stack for us, which is unmanageable, like all other stacks. So what does this mean for us, those who manage the group's business or they are in the sales and the commercial function? It's that MICE is now becoming increasingly important. More than 25 to 30% of the business nowadays MICE properties they are focused on MICE, which is massive. And also the fact that it is one of the most profitable business. You don't pay any commissions out there to anyone. You are building so much of incremental revenue. I would say the most profitable business that comes to your properties is from MICE. There is so much of ancillary that sales that goes into it, and it's outstanding. So the second point is very important, which is navigating the linear and the non-linear journey. And think like that. In the earlier days, it's like the planners in your city are booking hotels in your city, easy site inspection, easy navigation. But in today's day and age, everything is so complex. Planner is sitting somewhere in the US, he's booking a hotel in Asia, and there is a huge gap in the way you are collaborating with them. So with that, I would like to take a manifestation journey of 30 seconds today. Of course, please don't close your eyes like him, otherwise you're going to sleep. So we do an open eye manifestation. So $1.9 trillion, friends, is the global MICE market. It's the future of MICE by 2028. Currently, it is 1.5. It's growing at the rate of 10%, and it's going to reach that mark by 2028. And manifest, what are you doing if you are a MICE property? I mean, most 90% of properties who have meeting spaces are MICE properties. What are you doing to get that share? Where you want to be? What pie do you want to achieve out of this? So that is the real manifestation, because if we are manifesting right, for sure we are going to get to the right place. And with that manifestation, think of these people. These are personas. These are planners. Someone is sitting in Middle East, somebody is sitting in the US, someone is sitting in Canada. As much as you want to connect with them, they also want to connect with you. And that's the beauty. And that expands your horizons to think beyond. And that's where the bridges are. Like, what is the bridge? What is the barrier that is stopping you to connect to these international planners or planners who are not based in your particular city? And that's where you need to evaluate your tech stack. Are you showcasing your properties well enough? Are you connecting with them? And the formula, you call it a 3-step or a 4-step, it's like, first of all, am I visible? Which means, am I correctly visible? Do I have all the information that should be there? That is the first step, getting back to the basics. The second step is, am I collaborating with them? Am I building a credible connection with them? And if I want to build a collaborative connection, a credible connection with them, what am I doing about it? Do I have a right balance of technology? Connecting, collaborating, being visible, and ultimately having tools to track and build intelligence. That's critical. And when people talk about technology in the hospitality space, which is majorly driven by high touch, premium touch, we say create a balance between high touch and high tech. We cannot say today that I want high touch only or I want high tech only. It has to be a balance. So manifest that balance and think through where you want to be. And with that, this is a hologram, and you never know with the way the technology is advancing, I may not have to be here to do this presentation. It may be my hologram doing this talk to all of you. I may be walking and talking, and that's how it's going to be like. So with that, I leave you, with a phrase from a Chinese philosopher: a journey of 1,000 miles begins with that first initial step. Take that. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.